go?
Good to go.
I'm okay to go. I'm okay to go.
Who has 2 thumbs up and is good to go?
Huber? All right. Hello and welcome to Reaction Shots for Kinda March. We're a little delayed again, as
What are the
usual,
odds of March?
because Huber's internet died and I was working for BET and the Switch 2
was-
happened and we're all very
I was
tired.
working 5 a.m.
And
A lot
yeah,
of stuff happened.
we all were up at 4 or 5 a.m. It was a nightmare. But we're here now. Thank you for your patience.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to talk about nukes.
Nukes.
I asked Huber a while ago, what should we talk
yeah.
about? And he said, nuclear blasts.
What prompted this, Huber, by the way?
I had recently watched Terminator 2 again. It was on the mind. It's always on the mind.
I'm not surprised
Yeah.
by this revelation.
Yeah. Just Terminator hype.
I mean, Terminator is pretty damn great. Yeah, we're gonna talk about nukes, and
it feels like the end of the world, so.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, hopefully this is not a prophetic episode.
It's felt like the end of the world since I was a child, because I grew up, partially the Cold War because I'm old as shit. But then things just accelerated from there. Somehow it got even worse than the Cold War. So yeah, it's even closer now to the end of the world. Yeah,
I remember hearing
fun.
about the Cold War and the Cuban Missile Crisis when I was like a kid. And I fully didn't
not
understand
that old.
what any of that was talking about. Huh?
You're not that old.
When was
You're
the
not
Cuban Missile
Missile
Crisis?
Crisis old?
When was that?
That
When
was
was that?
JFK.
Oh, what was I thinking of?
No, you
Gulf
probably
War.
heard
I
about
was
it, but
thinking of the
you
Gulf
definitely
War.
did not
I
live
was
through
thinking of the
it.
Gulf War.
No,
You
it's
look way
because
too young and cute to have lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis.
it's because the movie 13 Days came out in the year 2000.
Maybe that's what it was. But I was thinking of the
that was
Gulf
like my
War, not the
intro.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't understand any of it. And clearly I still don't.
It was a Russian dude who saved the world because he disobeyed orders.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
by
fuck
not-
this, I'm not gonna blow up the world.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
I mean, fuck yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
But yeah, we're gonna get into Strange Love, Failsafe, Oppenheimer, Godzilla, all of that. And Terminator, I am sure. Aliens, as usual, anything counts. If they mention a nuke, it counts.
Predator.
Is there some kind of
Kind of.
like 90s raunchy comedy where someone says drop the bomb or something? It counts. Everything counts. But first, what have we liked lately or seen lately or hated lately? Hubie, what do you got cooking?
The Bosch final season is my thing right now. There's only 4 more episodes total.
Oh.
It's very sad that it's ending because it's so good. It's the 10th season technically. They had 7 Bosch seasons and then 3 Bosch Legacy seasons. And for real, no joke, all 10 seasons are excellent. Like, it is one of my favorite shows of all time, no question. It's very LA. It's very dark. It's very bleak. Like, Bosch sees the world from a very intense perspective. I don't want to tell you his origin because that's like part of the show. You like learn about his childhood and stuff. It's like a big part of his character. But the final season has been amazing so far. It's just crazy that it's ending because it just feels like there's still so much story to tell. Like, they've never lost any momentum.
Do you
Yeah,
think
do it.
they'll reveal another spinoff?
They do have one spinoff coming with Maggie Q playing
Oh.
a legendary detective, Renee Ballard. She's in the books, and she like crosses over with Bosch quite a bit. So Bosch will show up, I'm sure, in that show for sure.
Bosch.
Bosch.
Isn't that like a thing British people say?
It's
Like, Bosch.
Bosch. What the
Bish
Bosch?
Bosh.
I don't know.
Pish posh. Yeah.
Daredevil has been incredible. Hard
Dude, I watched
hitting.
the first episode and I wasn't into it.
Oh, dude, it gets so
Am I
good.
wrong?
I think so because to me, Marvel has always been like fun, and that's why I like it. It's just been the cool, fun thing, like ever since Iron Man.
Yeah.
Daredevil to me is more similar to Bosch. Like, it is dealing with some of like, it's dealing with some fucking intense ass shit as each episode goes by, where I'm like actually super surprised that this is like an MCU Marvel show. Cause I'm like, wow, they're actually like talking about this, addressing this, showing this. Like, that show is rated R, and honestly, it's one of the best Marvel things, easily post Endgame, and maybe ever, when you really sit down and look at the stories being told. Like, obviously fucking Endgame is a better Marvel thing, but like, what is Endgame even saying? Like, okay, guys trying to kill half the universe, and you're time traveling to stop Thanos. Cool. This is dealing with like
the universe twice as many resources.
Yeah, this is dealing with like police corruption and the validity of vigilantism. And there's like an entire fucking episode of the show is a fucking courtroom drama. Like, it is the best. So I am like, I have not been this obsessed with MCU in so long. Like, I cherish it. I love it. It's my favorite thing right now, Daredevil, for sure.
That's a fun feeling.
Oh,
Yeah.
When that happens again. Yeah.
And then lastly, probably like been watching some true crime. The Gilo Beach serial killer is like really fucking depressing. It's probably like top 5 most upsetting documentaries I've seen lately. It's number 1 on Netflix right now. It just shows you everything that's wrong with the system. It's fucking insane. It will make you so angry and upset, but it's real life. So I feel like everybody should watch some of that stuff sometimes to like build some empathy and just like see the realities of this world. It's called Gone Girls, the Gilo Beach, Long Island murders. It's crazy. But then lastly, 1,000 Blows on Hulu. Stephen Graham killing it with Adolescence. I watched some of Adolescence. I'm sure we'll talk about that soon.
I'm going to go off on Adolescence.
1,000 Blows is in like the early 1900s, and it's about kind of the birth of boxing a little bit, but it highlights like these Jamaican guys that come over, like heavy race implications in the show. It's about these couple of Jamaicans. It's about like Irish people also being fucking persecuted in England. And it's mainly about, let me get this right before we move on, because this is the best shit I learned. It's historical fiction, but it is about the 40 Elephants, which were a 19th to 20th century all-female London crime syndicate who specialized in shoplifting, also called hosting at the time. The gang was noticeable for its longevity and skill in avoiding police detection.
That sounds
Hell
fun.
yeah.
This is, it's from the creator of Peaky Blinders. This is easily S-tier show, top tier, hard hitting.
What's it called?
It's called 1,000 Blows. It's on Hulu. There's 6 total episodes. It is fantastic show. So good.
Oh, wait,
So
what's it got
as
to do
the
with Adolescence?
miniseries?
I think there's going to be more. I'm not sure about it, but yeah, there's 6 total episodes. That's it. Maybe there'll be a season 2. Maybe it was just a miniseries. I'm not sure. But yeah,
Is it related to Adolescence, or did you just mention?
No, Stephen Graham is in it. That's why. Stephen Graham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And someone else is in there too that is also in Adolescence. And I was like, whoa, cool. Was there like
Oh, okay.
some like casting friend people here? Did they like, it's just weird that like Stephen Graham gives like 2 incredible performances and they both came out at like the same time.
Created it. He's the main guy and the dad in Adolescence, right? He created Adolescence. Like he
So cool.
co-created it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So Stephen Graham killing it. There it is.
Nice.
1,000 Blows.
Anything
Check it
else?
out. Nope.
Well, since we're talking about it already, I'll go next because I saw Adolescence.
Yeah.
Matt, did you see that?
I saw reviews for it, and like it sounded good and heavy. And
It's
I was like,
heavy.
I need a moment before I can jump into that, but it sounded good. Yeah, tell me about
It
it.
is, yeah. So Sophia was watching. Uh, Sophia was watching. This. I think it was like the end of episode 2, right? And I like came through, or was like doing something, and I like did the thing where I was just like, looked at the TV for a second, and then I just wound up standing there for like 10 minutes, where I was just like, oh. And then I was like, they haven't cut. And she's like, yeah, no, they don't. And I was like, what? And yeah, so like every episode. And so then we were like theorizing how they were doing it. And I was like, okay, you can see that there's a handoff right there, like blah, blah, like analyzing the footage. But like, yeah, so they literally, every episode is one take. It's 4 episodes.
Which takes me
And
out of it. I know it's. Oh,
no, Huber. Like the way you're used to
I tried
things
watching
doing,
it and it was so distracting. I was so distracted by
I
like
think
the
that's
one
just because
takeness.
it's just because you knew about it. I think if no one had told you, like you would have just been watching it. Because like for me anyway, I mean like
Yeah.
valid whatever, but like
10 out
for
of 10
me
show.
the doing it all in one take gives it this really interesting hyper focus where it's just 4 important moments in this story.
That's a good perspective, yeah, for sure.
And it's just literally here are 4 hours that show the different kind of moments in the trajectory of this issue and like this
Good framing.
and
I'll
so
readjust.
like it's less about, and like they even said that in the behind the scenes stuff that I watched where it was like, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but they were like we actually loved the limits of the show because it didn't let us explain everything and like give every side to the story and like give all the perspectives, like because we're locked in.
That's true. They can't
only,
like cut away or whatever
right.
to somewhere else. Yeah.
And so like it's a really, really interesting kind of like limitation and framework for telling this story. And the way it engages with the story and the way that the story evolves over the course of the whole thing is just phenomenal. And yeah, the performance by the main guy is like bananas. The performances from all the kids are crazy.
So, he is so good, that kid. Holy fuck.
Oh my God.
I've watched
and
two of them so far.
Yeah, and like, I was like, okay, how are they doing this? And like the answer is they just did it. They shot it on a Ronin, the like, what is it called? The 4D or whatever. The like weird, like it's got a box camera, but it has a gimbal arm, and then the like camera head is like on the end of the gimbal. So the whole thing is shot on that, and they can, pass it off to each other, just hand it upstairs, and like there's one point where like it just gets on a drone and they just like electromagnet it to the bottom of a drone and it just goes and it's all one shot. And they shot every episode over the course of a week, and just like used the best take. I think episode 1 was the second or third take, and then episodes 2, 3, and 4 were all like take 13 or something, like take 12. So it's just crazy, like just pure effort and pure planning. And like one of the episodes has like 300 student actors in it, and like nailed it. I don't know, it's crazy. And like I'm talking
the subject matter is the most important part.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I'm talking about the filmmaking and like the quote unquote gimmick of it, but it doesn't even feel like a gimmick to me, because like there are times where it's just like, hey, let's do a oneer because it's awesome. Like I've even done those, and like I love that, and like I'm all for that usually, but this one is just like using a filmic language to tell the story in an interesting and impactful way. And I thought it was really interesting. Like I hesitate to even talk about the story because I don't want to spoil anything, but like it's a really heavy and important issue, and like something kind of like interesting isn't the right word, but like there's a thing happening to the human being in this time period due to technology that is, I think, and people in society and like not having the support, and no one knows. We're like beyond the pale in every different sense. Like no one knows how to handle what's happening to us, and like I honestly think like we've broken humanity somehow with the internet, but like
I agree. There's no going back. It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. It's so bleak.
you can't
It's so
unring that
bleak.
bell.
It's so bleak, dude. Holy fuck.
It's pretty fucked. Like just the forced techno evolution of younger people, like how like novelty addiction and the phone and TikTok and like, has just changed attention spans. Like I've talked to several friends who are like teachers or like work with teens and younger kids, and they're like, oh yeah, it's crazy. Like no one has an attention span longer than like 2 minutes.
Part of me, I was thinking about
wild.
I was literally thinking about this yesterday, like before I'm too old and it's too late. I want to like, because I am losing faith in like all of humanity, like mainly this country. I'm just losing so much faith in people.
Yeah.
I had this thought yesterday where I really want to just like drive across the country and just like hit
this country.
Yes. And just like hit all these spots and like see people in real life. You know what I mean? Because like I just see the heightened internet and like the heightened social media and just like the news and the radio where everything is like, ugh! But then sometimes I'll have an encounter in a grocery store with a random old stranger and they're jolly as hell. And I'm like, oh, people are chill. People are good. Like, so it's like, I want to just like drive across this country and like see it with my eyes.
Well, it's like that trend going on right now where like, you have the mom, the dad or whatever, and like the parents and the kid, and then like 3 plates and each person gets cookies, but like they make it so like the mom or the dad doesn't get any cookies, but the kid gets 2. And then like, the test is like to see like the kid, like empathy basically, to be like, oh no, here, have one of mine. I have an extra, and like that kind of shit to me is like the default of humanity, where it's like no judgments, like kids will be friends with anybody, like, unless they're taught otherwise. And like that to me is the default. So it's like all this other shit on top of it is just, taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
No. I mean,
I ain't going anywhere.
On an upbeat note, there's a lot of good stuff happening in this country today. If you like turn on the news, a lot of good things happening. Just for a little bit of moment of positivity.
Yeah, as we film this, there are a bunch of
gives me hope
demonstrations and stuff happening, so that's really good.
All across the country, like 1,200 of them in all the cities, quite big.
It's huge.
So, I mean, I don't know what can say.
My
will come of them, but yeah, it's a good thing.
Grumbaum and I always repeat it during like the bleakest times. Did you either of you ever see Milk with Sean Penn?
The Harvey Milk thing? Nah. But
I know about the history.
Yeah. Incredible movie, one of our favorites. We were living in SF at the time. We actually saw it in the Castro district, like where they filmed the movie. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But in the trailer and in the movie, he's like, you got to give him hope. So I just like one of my most repeated lines of all time, where it's like when things get dark, it's just like, got to give him hope. So it's like these protesters, it's like, you got to give them hope. Let's go.
What movie is where he goes, don't do that. Don't give me hope.
Oh, that's Endgame. That's Avengers.
That's Endgame. Yeah. And then my thing, hope is a disease.
Yeah.
I also watched Evil Under the Sun.
Whoa, what is that?
It's super old, like 1981. Like Matt Walden old.
Yes.
Cold War era.
Cold War era.
Yeah.
Cuban Missile Crisis era.
Hide under your desk. Duck and cover.
They told us about that.
Yeah, they did.
I'm not that much younger than you.
Nah.
Anyway, it's just a Poirot film. It was really funny. I don't know. It was weird. Maggie Smith was in it, and we watched
Maggie Smith, legend.
Saw Black Bag, the Soderbergh joint, dude.
I want to see it so bad with my dad, but he kept flaking.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
He like puts out 3 movies a year.
Dude, yeah.
Stays
like I
busy.
said, I probably said
Every
this
time I
before,
blink,
but like
there's a new one. Yeah.
I was in Presence at the Alamo, and we saw a trailer for Black Bag coming out a
Sounds
month and a
about
half
right.
later.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell, Soderbergh?" Like, I was like, "You retired, quote unquote, like 5 or 6 or 10 years ago."
That means he makes 2 movies a year when he retired.
Yeah, I'm retiring. Only 2 movies a year. Yeah. So that's pretty good. Yellow Jackets is like just fucked. It's like,
Did you
know.
finish
Is it over?
It's not over yet.
No, I mean, like, is it over for? Is there no hope for it being good?
Dude, I mean, there's still hope. Obviously, like, you gotta give them hope. But like,
I'm up to date on it.
Well,
I'm up to date on it.
you are.
Yeah, I'm up to date. Like I watched whatever last night's episode was.
oh shit!
Like
Matt
it's
Walden is accepted by the lesbians.
yeah,
Wow.
it's like it's pulpy, like for sure,
It's
and it's
just-
not as good as it used to be. But I'm
Yeah.
along for the right. There are plot developments that happened this season
Yeah.
that kind of like turn the knife, so to speak, that keep it interesting. It's gotten more melodramatic. Obviously,
that's
I
the
like
thing is, like,
melodrama.
It feels like a completely different show than it was in season 1. Like, characters are just kind of Shauna especially is just kind of doing shit, and I don't know. It's like with a show like this where it starts with like a mystery and there's all this kind of stuff and there's timelines and there's futures and stuff. You want to feel like the creative team has a plan and isn't making things up as they go. And I'm not confident that's true with Yellow Jackets.
I feel like, did you ever feel that way with Lost, though? There were parts in Lost where you felt like, what are they doing here? You gotta admit, there were like
sure.
a whole season. Like, there was season 3
I
or
think-
4
Lost-
of
with
Lost where you were
Lost, I
just
was-
like, what's going on? You'd squint your eyes and you'd be like, come on now, Lost.
They would always
and
give
Lost
you
got
enough,
back on
though.
track. Yeah,
But Lost for me was always even in the time. Like, it's easy to say this now because we can tell that it's true. But like, even at the time, I was like, this feels like they do have a trajectory and like at least a few like points along the path, but they're being forced to stretch it out by
Yeah,
ABC.
100%.
Like, even in the moment, like season 3, I was like, this feels like studio bloat right here. But Yellow Jackets
and
is
Writer's
like,
Strike, yeah.
and Writer's Strike
Clear it
season
off,
4,
yeah.
yeah. And like with Yellow Jackets, it's like, listen, man, we're in the era of shows just getting canceled left and right. Like, I know you said you had a 5-year plan, but like maybe make it a 3-year plan. Like, I don't know, like just condense. Like just like fucking White Lotus, dude, where it's like so glacial and boring and I don't care about any of the characters and Mike White's saying weird shit now and like
Yeah, what the
Sam
fuck was
Rockwell
that? What the fuck was
he's-
that?
like,
Yeah.
believes in autogynephilia or some shit, and I'm like, okay, Mike White,
What is
that's
that?
not chill. Like, it's like this super toxic idea
Yeah,
that
it's
men are just
terrible.
so horny they transition to female. It's
Yeah,
fucked.
it's like
And
saying
not
trans
good.
people aren't real, essentially. Yeah. It's
what
awful.
the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, that came out like a couple of days ago. He
Like
went on
a
this
couple of
super
days
awful
ago.
podcast. Yeah.
He was on a very conservative podcast, basically talking about that, and because like there's a character in White Lotus. I mean, I already said it. I guess I accidentally spoiled it, but like Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, it's a
is-
scene. Yeah, and
It's
all,
basically
yeah.
just like he just goes on this weird screed about.
It's a monologue. Yeah.
It's a big monologue about like wanting to be an Asian girl and like fuck himself, and like while we were watching it, I was like,
It's
like,
a weird monologue, and
this
it's
is
kind
a
of
little-
played. Yeah.
it's played as kind of like and like my main takeaway was Walton Goggins' character, because I love me some Goggins and I love
Yeah,
Sam
yeah,
Rockwell.
yeah.
Like, I don't blame anybody for this, but like my main takeaway from that was that like the show was playing it like, oh, listen to this weird thing that this character is saying, and
This
Goggins,
character is weird. Yeah.
yeah, that's what the show was playing it. But Goggins kind of was just like, okay.
Huh.
Like, and like I kind of appreciate that about Goggins' character. He's the only character I care about, him and his girlfriend in that horrible show. But like that he kind of accepts things. Like even if his friend is being super strange, he's just like, okay, if that's your deal, like sure. Like, and I like that. I appreciate it. I don't know. That show is, and I've been saying it even before I found out Mike White was maybe less chill than I had hoped he was, but
Once
just-
you put those together, then you're
yeah,
like, nah, this is
I'm not
fucked.
surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But like, I don't know. I've been saying it needs a writer's room at the minimum. Like that, like shit happened in episode 6 that should have happened in episode like 3 or 2.5. Like there's just like literally 4 episodes of characters sitting around doing nothing, being rich bastards, and I'm just like, yeah, I got it. Like I understand. Same with Triangle of Sadness, where I'm just like, characters being rich and shitty is not interesting in and of itself. You need to also have like something to grasp onto as a viewer.
Walter
agree.
Goggins has been fascinating because I feel like that is
he's
going
great.
somewhere. Walton Goggins, and then Parker Posey. I always
Love Parker Posey.
I just love her generally.
yeah. But the Mike White thing, when I saw that, I was like, no.
Parker Posey had a.
Because anytime you hear that, like the Sam Rockwell thing, I kind of like clocked it. I was like, I hope that's not something that's going to go somewhere bad, because I've heard that from people, and you hear that from someone, and they're always, like have awful ideas. They're always terrible,
It's always interesting in shows like that, and like even Matt, like the stuff we write, where it's like, I want to engage in weird and like difficult conversations, and like you don't want to give the viewer like, you don't want to hand them the answers, so like there is like the opportunity for misinterpretation, but like moments like that in a show where you're like, you're just really curious which side the creator is coming at it from, and like, sometimes you find out, oh, the wrong side. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and then it gets so hard sometimes to parse that shit, because it's like, if the writer is weird, but like, I'm always just thinking about how many people are involved, and it's like, well, I know like Goggins is chill IRL, like.
Oh, seems chill as hell.
And then it's like, well, if the creator is sketch, but like these people that I love and respect are in the thing, like, are they endorsing it? Are they just like saying it? Like, yeah.
I don't think that being in a thing is an implicit endorsement always, especially because like you don't know, and like also, and this is true even of us, like, we don't know the people personally, and like they know each other personally, and that's how you get things where it's like, oh yeah, he always seemed fine, because it's like my perspective of him was just at work, he was fine. So you don't know all the skeletons maybe, but like, yeah, it's interesting. And like I had heard earlier, like a few weeks ago, that Carrie Coon's character was supposed to have a non-binary kid, and
Carrie Coon's in there too? Fuck.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Watch my Lotus.
And they cut don't, it's boring.
Okay.
But they cut the character out because Trump won, and
shut up.
Yeah, well, not the character, but there was a mention of the character at a dinner. And Mike White's reasoning for that was it's too big a topic to get to just kind of like brush over with 3 sentences at dinner, in a dinner scene in a show. And at the time I was like, yeah, okay, like, sure. Like, on the one hand, it's like, whatever. But I kind of give him the benefit of the doubt at the time. But now I'm kind of just like,
yeah,
I don't know. We just brush over, cis people. Like at dinner, like all the time, like,
It's true, because that was kind of my other reaction, was like, okay, well, yeah, but normalizing something means just making it normal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like having a non-binary kid isn't something that, you need to cut out of a show because Trump wins. It's just a reality that people have. So just leave it in the fucking show, you cowards. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Especially because in the same scene, one of the other characters is revealed to have voted for Trump, and the show and the other characters are very clearly like, oh, like, okay, like.
Do they say the name Trump in the show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're at three women at dinner, and it like becomes clear that one of them, 99% voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And they're like, you didn't vote for Trump, did you? And she was like, we don't have to talk about this. And everyone's like, are you fucking serious? Like, they all get like mad at her, which seemed chill at the time, but anyway, whatever. Who cares about White Lotus? Let's talk about what Matt.
I need my lorazepam now.
Yeah.
I need my
That
lorazepam.
storyline is funny.
Well, I've been watching White Lotus. I've been watching Severance. Let's talk about something great.
Wait, I guess we haven't talked about Severance, have we?
No.
Holy
and
shit!
it's the thing
No
is like,
spoilers for people who
yeah,
haven't.
yeah, I obviously won't because like I am pretty spoiler averse myself, and Severance is, like a lot of shows, but even to a greater degree, a show that you just delight in the reveals because
Oh
it's kind
yeah.
of like a magical, mysterious show where they just like peel back more, and you're just like, what is this world? So I won't talk about that world, especially if you haven't even watched the first season, because it
Like
is like each
the
episode.
opposite of Yellow Jackets or Lost or whatever, where it's
Even
like
more than Lost, they actually
even more than
do
Lost,
have
like
something to reveal. Yeah,
everything feels like a very, very thought out piece of a puzzle. Even stuff that I'm like, where are we going with this? Like,
they're going somewhere. They have it.
I have the confidence that they know what they're doing with it. So something that might seem like a waste right now in season 3, you'll be like, oh shit, like,
They have there is the phrase like a mystery box show,
Yeah.
and at first I thought Severance was one of those, and I was like, fine, I'm down. I'm in the mood for those. Those are always fun, whatever. And you're a good version of that. And now I feel like it isn't one of those. I just felt, and now I feel like it's just a show that reveals itself slowly. It feels like a mystery box show, but it actually isn't just like a, we're just gonna keep a puzzle box. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it's called. Like it's not. I don't feel like it is one of those. It's just like a.
No, I'm
developing.
I'm saying this one's a puzzle box, not a mystery box.
Yeah,
it knows it has a solution and it knows it. And it's just revealing it to you.
I feel like I've seen a lot of that now, and apparently they're making more. But I've said to a couple of people now that I would be fine if it ended, just because I'm so satisfied with how far they've gone now, and it's told such an emotionally affecting story in the first 2 seasons it has, and it's painted like a portrait of this strange corporate world enough, and it hasn't told me everything, but it's painted enough to give a very emotional story that's affected me, where I'm like, I'm satisfied by this, like it almost ends at a perfect note for me, where I'm just like, I've felt a lot of things. So I mean, I won't say more than that, just because go watch this show. It's one of my favorite things in the last couple years on TV. Feels like a combo of The Prisoner and Lost, and
for sure.
a couple other things. It feels like the fiction of George Saunders, or maybe like G.K. Chesterton, going back much further. There was this book called The Man Who, he wrote The Man Who Was Thursday, which is like this story about the secret. Yeah, it's great. The secret world of assassins, and they each are named after a day of the week. And it turns out, as this guy, they're like anarchist assassins.
International assassin.
And it turns out, like, as he's investigating, maybe like, they're all like, each one is maybe like a little bit also part of like, they're also investigators investigating each other. And he's like, wait, what is this world? And it becomes like, yeah. It's a very cool book. But anyway, it reminds me of some of my favorite like strange, mysterious fiction.
Severance has always had like, it owes a lot to like 70s kind of paranoia thrillers, and especially the way season 2 ended, where it was like, I'm like, okay, this is like the end of a 70s, like this is The Conversation or something, like, without saying anything specifically, but like, I was just like, oh, this is so my vibe.
It has a beautiful emotional ache to it, in addition to the very funny surrealism. Being John Malkovich also kind of feels like it. Yeah. I mean, it's just all my favorite stuff that I like in art, really, in a TV show. So high praise to Severance. And I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched Death of Stalin because I was in the mood for political shit, and that's very bleak. That's very bleakly funny. It's got Steve Buscemi is in that. And it's by the creator of Veep, or maybe a couple people involved in Veep are in it. It's about the death of Stalin, like right when Stalin dies, and Nikita Khrushchev and a bunch of other people are trying to come to power. Very humorous, but also very, very dark because a lot of time in Russian history is very dark, including right now. And just the things people do to jockey for power and the things that happen in Russian history around that time where they would just, like kill people ruthlessly.
Disappear people.
Yeah, to appease whoever was in charge at that particular moment. Rough movie, but very funny and very dark, and dark in the ways it may remind you of other things happening now. And then I watched, because the topic of Nukes was this episode, I watched a bunch of stuff related to Nukes, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And we may talk about it for here, but I'm also just been watching shit. So that's what I've been watching. I watched War Games with Matthew Broderick, which was, he's like a early hacker, using dial-up internet.
Fuck, I've not seen that movie in 20 years.
I haven't seen that movie at all.
It's so good. It's so fun. It really holds up well. It's got Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy and Dabney Coleman from 9 to 5, the Dolly Parton movie. He's so funny in this. He's really funny. He's a great actor. Matthew Broderick is trying to steal a computer game because he's like a really good high school hacker. And he just mass dials a bunch of phone numbers, and he accidentally hacks into, I think, like the NSA or somewhere top secret of the government.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he gets access to like a bunch of nuclear secrets and accidentally kicks off this war simulation between the USSR and America. Freaks everybody out and actually kicks in almost a real nuclear war. And so the real government comes and kidnaps him and brings him to interrogate him, and he ends up having to try and stop this actual nuclear war. But the way it plays out is kind of like a Doctor Strangelove, movie. And they really actually need his help to stop it. Very funny and kind of halfway believable when I watched it. It's got a computer kind of like HAL. It's named Whopper. It's the initials WOPPR. Yeah. Then Jessica and I watched Terminator 1 and Terminator 2.
Yeah, baby.
Back to back.
Fuck
Terminator 1, Terminator 2 back to back.
On your feet, soldier!
I've been wanting to do that because Sophia hasn't seen them.
What?
And she doesn't know.
Oh, she doesn't know how good they are.
Well, no, she doesn't. She doesn't know the twist of 2.
Oh.
And so I want to see what happens.
Amazing. Jessica loves action movies more than I do. I like ponderous shit. I mean, I like action movies too, but
but Terminator is both. Terminator is ponderous action.
Yeah, and Jessica likes art movies also, but between the two of us, she likes one more than the other, and vice versa. So we watched Terminator 1 and 2 back to back, and. These days lately, I'm liking Terminator 1. I'm really liking good. Terminator 1. I saw Terminator 1 in the theater. It's gritty. Gritty is the exact word. I have it written down in my notes. Gritty.
Terminator 1 and Blade Runner 1. I don't even know how you create those vibes. The vibes of both of those movies. Yeah, it's just gritty.
It's the lenses, it's the camera, it's the budget, it's the resources, it's the streets, it's where it was shot. And I saw it in the New Beverly in the theater. It was amazing to see it in the theater.
Yes.
Yeah. And
dude, the tech noir scene is the fucking
club.
Energy of that whole segment. Oh my god,
so good. And I have to say, I think Linda Hamilton's acting is a little bit more nuanced in Terminator 1. It's probably just the thing she was asked to do, because she has to play fun, she's a waitress, and then her life just gets upended, and then she has to get, rescued and then taught how to survive, and then she does survive, and then she has to fight back. So she has more of an arc, whereas in Terminator 2, she just has PTSD.
Dude, I love
Survivor.
Dude, she's the best in 2, though. She's the best.
She's great in 2. And then I think she got so much praise at the time in 2 because there weren't a lot of women action heroes besides Sigourney Weaver and Aliens at the time. But so obviously it's cool to have this ripped woman action hero. And she deserved all the praise she got is awesome. But I think in Terminator 1, she's given like a little bit more variation in her acting like moments. And it's really cool to see. And like, I don't know, Terminator 1, like I enjoy watching it more, but they're both amazing.
Yeah.
I was watching Mr. Sunday Movies talk about Terminator 1 and 2 yesterday. I watched their stuff kind of over and over, but like there's a part they pointed out in 2 when T-1000 is like prying the elevator open and then
my God.
Arnold shoots him in the face.
So sick.
When she just has like this pure like audience insert moment where she's just like, what the fuck is happening?
What the fuck is that?
She says
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. She's awesome. In both of them, she's awesome. And also watching them back to back. I mean, I knew this in the back of my mind, but watching them back to back, you realize how awesome. I hate to say this, how awesome shotguns are in both the movies.
James
like,
Cameron loves shotguns more than anyone, dude. He is the shotgun master. He fucking loves them. All of his movies have some kind of like shotgun moment.
Yeah, and it feels like central to these movies the way shotgun is to the Doom games or something like that. Like 100%. They just feel good to watch the way they feel good to play in Doom. There's like, and then like bounce back or something, like you're shooting the demons in Doom. So and then like
also the
go ahead.
The nukes, like the scene, the dream scene of her holding the fence with the nuke, like that, like burned into my brain as a childhood, like in my childhood, like fucking scared the shit out of me. Like I was thinking like, oh man, what if that was my mom like getting nuked, and like I like would have nightmares about it. Like it was
absolutely disturbing.
Yeah, it really is. Another thing I'm noticing in both of these movies back to back that I didn't see, like I've never watched them that way. I've always watched them in isolation. But both of them, so much violence against cops.
Oh yeah.
I will not state my opinion on this. I will not state my opinion on this.
Dude,
don't transcribe this.
Yeah, the first one is so wild.
Yeah, but both of them do. And I will say this, like, especially part 2, for such a mainstream, tentpole, American blockbuster movie,
James
it
Cameron,
really encourages the audience to cheer on and find humor in violence and shooting cops, because he's like, Eddie Furlong's like, don't kill anyone. He's like, don't worry,
I will not kill anyone.
And then he just like mows down all these cops in the legs, and you're supposed to find that comic and go like, whoa.
He doesn't kill anyone.
And I've seen this with audiences before. And the first time I saw this was as a kid at the drive-in theater in Hawaii, because that's where I grew up. We saw it like opening night at the drive-in in Hawaii, and the audience went wild at that. And like that was very rare at the time to like have that. Like there was Heat that came out afterwards, and that was supposed to make you feel really uneasy too. And Reservoir Dogs, like movies where cops got hurt, good or bad, it was just really out of the norm. But for like the audience to be on the side of the people like shooting the cops, and you're supposed to be like, yeah, that's so funny, like just still like a little shocking now to see.
I mean, the villain of 2 takes on the image of a cop, because the cops have power and access.
Yeah,
and,
like, you're like, watch out for
them.
this. Yeah, exactly. Watch out for this cop, and they're just like hammering him throughout the movie with shots.
Even in the first one, like Arnold gets the cop car and is like chasing them down in a cop car, like blasting it.
It's wild stuff. Wow.
I love John Connor's friend just casually lying to the cops and saving humanity.
Hey, I think I saw that guy.
Oh yeah.
No, man, don't know.
Good friend at the arcade.
So
right?
instinctively lying to the cops is very.
It's one of my favorite memes ever, where it's like this kid saved all of the human race.
Remember that, kids.
The human race was saved by lying to a cop. It's like.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, words to live by.
Yeah. I'm sure like all our wonderful listeners and viewers and patrons have written in. You can become part of our Patreon club
our patrons know not
in the
to talk to the
Discord. by it's a $3. Chuck in a buck, and we love getting your comments because they make me smarter. Definitely.
Next week we're talking about propaganda films.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. If you're done with what you've seen.
Yeah, I'm done. I have a lot more nuke movies, but I'm sure some of our listeners wrote about them.
Let's talk about nukes. As Matt just said, patreon.com/reaction shots. We asked our patrons to tell us about nukes. Favorite show or movie involving nuclear capabilities.
Nuclear capabilities.
Anything counts. Any mention? Like the show Patriot on Amazon Prime, for example. The greatest show about someone trying to prevent someone from getting nuclear capabilities that no one has seen, and then they canceled it. But it has a satisfying ending and it's worth watching. Patriot. Bad title, great show. It's a great title for the show once you've seen the show, but Patriot. Not the Patriot. Paul Rogers says, hopefully not too late to comment. You're not, because we never film on time. Yay! Mm-hmm. I'll mention some movies and TV shows not already brought up. First, the nuclear sub films, Crimson Tide and The Hunt for Red October. Ultimate dad movies with absolute peak Connery, Denzel, and rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Have to mention Lost and Juliet detonating the nuke that leads to the creation of the hatch, ergo leading to the circumstances that means Desmond is on the island, which in turn causes the plane to crash. Spoilers for Lost. But yes, I love the nuke scene in Lost.
So sick.
Also,
are they hitting it with a rock? Don't they hit it with a rock?
Yeah, she's like, go off, you son of a bitch.
So awesome. Yeah, so epic.
So
dude, Juliet, one of the best characters of all time.
Juliet. I love Juliet. And I think Sawyer and Juliet are a good pairing.
Same.
They have the time to learn to love each other.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
One of the many times in Lost where they would be screaming fuck if they could be.
Yeah, for sure. If it was on Netflix or something. Yeah.
Fuck you!
Go! Fuck you, little dipshit.
Also, Babylon 5, my favorite. Did you call moi a dipshit? Also, Babylon 5, my favorite sci-fi, has many uses of
Babylon rules.
Perhaps.
Do I need to watch Babylon 5? I've never seen a single second.
Good. Babylon is good.
Okay.
Babylon 5. Dude.
Babylon
Crazy
5.
Spaceships in Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
Yeah, Babylon is solid. Yeah.
Maybe a spoiler, but favorite iconic John Sheridan nuking the Shadow homeworld.
That's a lot of episodes.
Forget it. It's not a spoiler. Just forget you heard it.
It's a shit ton of episodes.
13 Days, a Costner film about the Cuban Missile Crisis. There
it is.
The Sum of All Fears, a lesser Clancy, but still watchable. The Dead Zone, Christopher Walken gains psychic powers and discovers a presidential candidate will cause nuclear Armageddon.
The baby.
And about a third of all the James Bond movies. I remember seeing Dead Zone as a kid and being like, yo, this is a pretty cool movie.
You know Trump would hold up a baby to protect himself.
Yeah. Well, doesn't he? Because he doesn't even have to pull the trigger because the guy, it's character, he character assassinates himself by holding up a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Great stuff. Zach Wojnar, remember when they used nukes to make Godzilla stronger in Godzilla King of the Monsters? That was dope. I liked that.
Same, yeah, I liked it.
Oh, so that reminds me of another nuclear movie that's one of my favorites. So Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People. This is from the same director as Godzilla, Ishiro Honda. So he did this other movie called Matango. It's kind of like a monster movie. It's a Japanese movie, and it's like Gilligan's Island. All these people are shipwrecked on a boat, and I think there's like a professor and a scientist and whatever, all the different character types. And they get shipwrecked, and this island has like these mushrooms that have grown from nuclear testing off the island, but they're like wild mushrooms, and they turn you into like the little clicker type things, but they look like nuclear mushrooms. They're like weird monsters, lumbering monsters, and they kind of like attack each other like zombies and turn each other into zombies. and it has this like weird metaphor about nuclear testing and greed, and they're just trying to like go after each other's money, even though you can't spend money on this island. It's pretty amazing. And this movie was almost banned in Japan when it first came out for being insensitive. It had, I think, because they looked too much like the victims of nuclear bombing. It eventually came out, and like you're able to watch it now. It's really really good. It's much darker than Godzilla, and it's in color. It's cool. I like it. It's fun. I highly recommend it. Matango, if you like Godzilla, same director. Really really good.
I mean, that this is as good a time as any. I figured we'd get into this eventually, but like the interesting, let's say, difference between American Godzilla and Japanese Godzilla, where in America, Nukes and Godzilla are good, and in Japan, Nukes and Godzilla are usually pretty bad.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very interesting, and like it culminates in King of the Monsters where they power Godzilla up with nukes. Like, to me, I like that because it was the kind of like saying the quiet part out loud, sort of, whether intentionally or not, where it's just like, oh yeah, no, this is a pro nukes reality here in this series of movies, and like that's, you know, by and large, which is kind of interesting. Like compared to then you see like Godzilla -1, where you're just like, you know, it's representative of the devastation of nuclear bombs, and it's in the aftermath, you know, and it's just like God. And the -1 meaning like we're at 0 and now we're getting hit again, so we're at -1. Like that's heavy stuff. The movie rips.
It's good, yeah.
Zach Washar continues. That movie stunk. Godzilla King of the Monsters. How did they make Godzilla boring? King Kong is so much better. Anyway,
I'm always a King Kong. I'm a King Kong head. I love King Kong so much.
I find them all to be fine.
Yeah.
Sophia loves Godzilla.
Yeah. I like Pacific Rim the most.
Oh, wow.
It's good. Pacific Rim's good too. Why not all of them?
Bring it back. Oh, we were going to get a crossover one day. Guillermo was like, I want it. I want it to happen.
Godzilla crossover?
Godzilla cross Pacific Rim.
Oh, damn.
Because they were legendary pictures. Never happened.
What if in one of these monsters legendary pictures they just have a Jaeger show up?
So sick. And let Guillermo do like a Godzilla. Like if Guillermo directed it, it'd be so sick.
Oh, that'd be
It would
nuts.
be great. Yeah.
Anyway, The Day After was made for TV, but still pulled no punches in its depiction of nuclear attack on the United States.
I've talked about that on here. Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side of the spectrum, the nuclear RPG from Starship Troopers is cool as heck. A Complete Unknown features a segment where the world is bracing itself for a possible nuclear exchange during the Cuban Missile Crisis. It perfectly, from my youth, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It perfectly captures Cold War fears and the very real possibility that the world could have ended, and the sequence with a borderline absurdist matter-of-fact acknowledgement that the world came to the brink of nuclear annihilation, but then just didn't. Then Zorgla says, I actually like a lot of King of the Monsters, but only skipping all the family nonsense. Yeah, I mean, the humans are the problem in half of those early Western Godzilla movies. To me, it makes sense to power up Godzilla with nukes because he eats nukes in the American ones.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know. Mark Hallinan, not sure this counts. Oh, wait, did you have something you wanted to say about The Day After?
Oh, it's Steve Guttenberg and John Lithgow, and I think a couple episodes ago I had watched it randomly. It's terrifying. Yeah, it came on American TV as like a TV movie and freaked everybody out, and they all wrote letters to their senators about, we gotta get rid of nuclear bombs, and like, yeah, it's very dark for a TV movie. Yeah, very dark for a TV movie. I loved it. It's really
Failsafe's a TV movie, if I recall.
Yeah.
That was fucking lit.
Yeah.
Let's see who talks about Failsafe. Mark Hallinan, not sure this counts. Everything counts. But I would like to submit the Predator self-destruct device,
there
aka
it is.
the wrist nuke.
I literally watched Predator last night.
Oh,
Hell
cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's technically nuclear in scientific terms, but it does seem to share some similarities. The Predator wiki states the following. The detonation of the bomb results in an explosion of nuclear composition and chemistry. While the blast often creates a sizable mushroom cloud, the explosion itself is not thought to be nuclear in nature. Anyways, take it easy.
Great. Yeah, I agree. Because Dutch is right there. He's so close. He would have been caught in the blast. It's very funny because he's right there. But then it cuts to the chopper coming. It goes to the chopper coming in, and you see like a nuclear mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I love the poor sportsmanship of the Predator, even though he usually like has like very strict rules.
Yeah.
And is like fighting with honor and shit. Like won't kill you if you don't have a weapon. But then he's like,
I'm taking you with me.
Fuck you. Kill everybody.
And the laugh is so iconic. It's so good.
So good. God, Predator, dude.
Yeah, there is one really offensive word in there that I was like, ugh! Eat some 80s macho shit. Yeah,
80s shit.
Which one?
The F double G.
There's only one G. Well, I guess if you spell the whole word.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Anytime I hear that word in a movie, I'm just like, oh, it's a jump scare.
It's weird. A lot of good movies have them too. Like Bill and Ted, you go back and watch it, and you're like, but you know, Alex Winter, like online, he's so awesome. He like totally campaigns hardcore for like trans rights and stuff. I'm you turned out awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, and also like, not to excuse it, but like in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, it's the time, it's the context. People kind of just
said it. Like, it's not good.
And he's a military man. Like Jesse Ventura says it. And I'm just like, he would maybe say this, but it like still always
like when we were kids, everything was like, oh, that's gay. Ooh.
You're so right.
Like, William Mendoza. I'll never forget scheduling Barbenheimer weekend with my brother. My family was only in town for a limited time, and the only IMAX showing we were able to make was a midday Oppie. Oppenheimer, Oppie. We're the only seats left for the front and center ones. We literally lived the viral tweets in the lead up to Oppie, where we felt like we were going to blow up being so close to the screen. IMAX speakers in full force. My bro and I were completely immersed for that showing, and my ass was clenched for the entire sequence. Shout out to Josh Peck for winning the most frickin' random actor award for being the one to press the big red button, lol. For TV, you can't do much better than Twin Peaks: The Return Part 8. Hell yeah. That is probably the best nuclear sequence I have ever seen.
Yeah, how did I not talk about
the birth of evil? Like a certain kind of evil? Fucking incredible. I will literally just put that on sometimes and watch it. I'll just skip to the
go to sleep.
Blast.
Yeah, go to sleep with it on in the background.
Oh yeah. It's my
I'm the water, I'm the well.
Got a light. Quick shout outs to X-Men First Class's Cuban Missile Crisis sequence. Crystal Skull's infamous nuke scene. The sound system when I caught that one in theaters was rocking. And Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh my god, Fallout. The goat.
Yes, go Padres. Love and respect to Huber and hoping for more GGs this season. Insert Balatro face.
Good rivalry. Really good rivalry.
Fede Krauch. It may not be a great movie. It may not even be a good movie, but it is a Finn movie. And the final explosion in Alien Resurrection is a sight to behold. I love Alien Resurrection.
Hell yeah, I love Alien Resurrection.
I'm an apologist. That movie is fun.
I love it.
And silly and wonderful.
Yep.
Ripley 8, dude. Acid for
Is
Blood.
this the French one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
You know, I have good memories because I saw it with my brother in the theater.
I saw it with my family in the theater. Yep.
Happy birthday to my brother.
Hell yeah.
But I still don't love the movie. I love the experience of watching it with him. But yeah.
It's a ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
Door breath locks. You breathe on a door and it opens. Like, that's ridiculous.
That is so ridiculous.
Does it? Winona Ryder has like
someone has the spray. Yeah.
It's got the boxing gloves.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Dude, ridiculous I fucking love that movie. The fucking like double pistol guy. There's those hidden double pistols. Like,
oh yeah. All those guys have guns. Like built into the wheelchair and shit.
So sick.
Your security's not worth a damn. Everybody's got a gun.
So cool.
You know what that's from?
Patriot.
Maverick. 8s and 8s.
And 8.
From a cinematic standpoint, it's obviously inferior to the other movies. However, the sheer scale of it compensates for it. From the looks of it, something like a third of the American continent is blown to bits. Pure insanity. I wonder if we'll ever know what happens next. Yeah, that's the latest one in the timeline.
Oh, is
and
it?
Yeah, in the extended cut, they
by
land
far.
on Earth, and it's like all bombed out.
My whole life, I was like, I want the aliens to be on Earth. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, Noah Hawley's going to give it to you.
Yeah, now
City
we're
of
finally going to
Lost
get
aliens.
Mother Earth is expecting is the tagline on one of the
it. Isn't AVP in like Antarctica or some shit? Or
Yeah, that's
Alaska or wherever.
And I don't know if the Alien Earth continuity will be in continuity with AVP, but if it is, then yeah, apparently xenomorphs have been on Earth for like 10,000 years in the ice because the predators use a big palace under the ice that's like
So
full of
insane.
traps and shit
So
to fight
insane.
aliens.
I have such a hard time caring about lore. I'm one of those awful people who, when I play video games, I'm like, let me just get to the next. Can I play? I mean, like, I will watch the scenes, but if it's like a dialogue thing where you can actually like read it, I just like speed read it. And go, what's that?
In any game or in an alien game?
Yeah, most games. I mean, I like JRPGs and stuff, but I'll speed read them like yeah. Just
I don't know how to
lore.
read.
It's lore. I like stories. It's just like lore. I'm like, I don't care about your.
There's a fine line.
I don't care about your universe. I care about your stories. You know.
Let me preach to you the good word of From Software. Where you don't like lore and you do like stories, or you like lore and you don't like stories?
I like stories. I don't like lore. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference.
Then
I
don't
like
play
characters. I like action, but I don't like. You know, I don't care about the background. I would like the now. You know.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Friday continues, moving to a better project. The nuke attack at the beginning of Battlestar Galactica, holy
Goaty.
yeah, that's really good, is incredibly effective, portraying the devastation it would cause. And I can't go without mentioning the moment in My Hero Academia where one character grabs 6 nuclear missiles and punches a victim to the bottom of the ocean with them. That show gets weird, huh? Completely unrelated, but I have now seen Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In, and I have been illuminated. 10 out of 10 movie.
Hell yeah,
that's so
dude.
kind. That's so kind. I'm
Walden.
glad you enjoyed it.
Twilight of the Warriors,
likes
Walden.
Yeah.
Walden.
Didn't make the connection till Huber said it a couple
That's
episodes
so funny,
ago.
yeah. I didn't-
Fucking
Oh my
sick
god,
movie,
did you hear
dude.
that? That was my jaw.
Oh no! Was it painful?
It's kind of nice, actually.
Oh. Maybe I should
For this
try.
month's corrections, International Assassin is episode 8 of season 2 of The Leftovers, not season 1.
There it is.
Idiot.
So it is
Who
season
said that?
2. That was me.
Alan
Dude.
Richson wants to be the DCU Batman. Our paths
Yeah.
will continue to be Batman separate from the DT.
Yes.
DCU. They gotta cool it. They gotta
No,
sort out their shit.
He needs to be Batman. He would be incredible. He would be
Robert
such a good
Pattinson
Batman.
is also good.
But the Robert Pattinson Batman is in the Gotham Batman epic crime saga. That's separate. That's a separate thing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
How could I make that mistake? They don't know. Correction. They don't know about the xenomorphs in Prometheus. They only suspect about the existence of the engineers. Well, because they're following. The xenomorphs don't exist yet in Prometheus.
No one will ever be able to defend the character's choices in Prometheus ever. Do not
they make
try.
nonsense choices. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. In Prometheus, I don't even remember what this is a correction of, because whatever. But like,
You were probably ranting
No.
about how dumb they are.
well, they are stupid. They know about aliens though, because one of them's an exobiologist, xenobiologist, whatever.
Idris
Whatever.
Elba with his
They're all
accordion.
What?
I like Idris Elba with his little accordion, right?
Oh yeah.
For no reason.
God damn it! That movie could have been so fucking tight.
Yeah.
Love and respect. P.S. Are you watching Kind of Funny's Alien and Predator in review? Any hot take about their ranking? I did not know they were doing that.
Nope.
Jason Washner says, other than Terminator 2's dream sequence, I don't have much to add. Nuclear weapons suck, but what sucks even more is that Ukraine was convinced to give up their nuclear arsenal in the 1990s in exchange for security guarantees. something that neither party of the agreement, US and Russia, are living up to, might be spared countless thousands of lives if that deal were made differently. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
US and Russia doing something fucked up? Wow.
all the like arms agreements have completely gone out the window. For a while there, America and Russia were both on board to slowly reduce their nuclear weapon stockpiles, and those are just completely torn up. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of the notion of nations at all, but like they're not good. They're evil. America is evil. Like, yeah, never be surprised by its bad behavior. For my anything else, I have a pretty funny on-set story. We were filming a scene in a car with two actors in the front seats. I was in the back seat, out of frame. My job was to feed them the line if they forgot or correct them if they made a mistake. For some reason, the actress in the passenger seat whistled through her nose every time she breathed heavily, which happened a lot because it was an intense scene. I was the only one who noticed this, and it made me want to laugh so hard, but they were still in the middle of the shot. So for about 3 to 4 minutes, I sat in the back holding back tears of laughter. I mean, I was biting my lips, shaking in my seat, covering my face with the script to try and ignore everyone else. After the director called cut, the actress immediately looked back at me and was like, "What the fuck, Jason?" I profusely apologized. And she was finally like, "What was so funny?" And I told her in Ukrainian, "Every time you breathed, you sounded like a kettle." And then she burst out laughing. The best part is literally no one on set noticed I was holding back a laugh. Even the actor in the driver's seat, though, thought the scene went off without a hitch. Most importantly, I asked the sound guys if I interrupted the sound at all, and they said no. So I was in the clear and didn't ruin the take.
There you go.
That's fun. Colin Newton, here's some scattered nuclear blast thoughts. I think the peak of G. Danger's Christly self-destruct at the end of Pacific Rim.
Fuck yeah.
Christly? P.S. If Huber says, shout out Pacific Rim Uprising underrated, I'm sorry, but they fridged Mako with a helicopter crash, and I'll never forgive that movie.
Dude, that scene is so sick, though. That fight is so awesome. Ah!
Well, and we'll never forget it.
Pacific Rim Uprising, one of my favorite theater experiences. I don't care. Whatever.
The most pit of
bad
my
movie,
stomach,
fun movie.
Every movie is great. False. The most pit of my stomach dread I have ever felt at a nuke scene is episode 1 of Fallout. How they established the rule of thumb that if the cloud is bigger than your thumb, there's no point in running. And then the clouds are way bigger than the thumb, but he grabs his daughter and runs away, knowing full well it's hopeless. Hot take. I didn't think the explosion in Oppenheimer looked all that impressive. Don't get me wrong, it was technically impressive, but it didn't look nuke big. It just looked like a fireball they zoomed in on because its actual size.
Did they see it in IMAX?
Good movie, but not worth an IMAX ticket. Yes,
I know they did see it. I didn't see it IMAX, and y'all won't let me forget it.
The nuke fake out with the sunset at the end of Mission Impossible Fallout is also peak. The hard shift from dread to relief is unmatched. One of the worst nuke scenes, in my opinion, is the Wolverine, where Logan is being kept in a hole in a POW camp in Nagasaki, perhaps, and saves a guy from the bomb by pulling him into the hole and blocking him with his body. This is not how a nuclear explosion works. If they were as close to the blast as was shown in the movie, they would be atomized, not to mention the radiation. It drives me crazy. Wolverine can live through it.
The radiation is a key plot point of that movie. Incorrect. The main guy gets like radiation poisoning and he's like dying or whatever.
Oh yeah, and then he wants Wolverine's healing factor.
And then and Wolverine's obviously fine from the radiation because he's Wolverine.
He's Wolverine.
Wait, does that say in Nagasaki? Yeah,
it's World War II because Wolverine's like over 100 years old.
Question marks. They weren't sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I haven't seen the Wolverine.
I've only seen videos about it. Indy in the Fridge gets a pass, though. That movie is a cartoon. Y'all forget how to have fun. I thought it was fun. Didn't we think it was fun?
Which one?
In Indiana Jones with the fridge.
Oh, that's my. I will defend that
really
scene for the
bothered
rest
me.
of my life. I love it.
I thought it was kind of funny.
That's one of my favorite scenes in that whole. That is my favorite scene in that whole movie.
It might be mine too.
Yeah.
I also my favorite scene in that movie is when they slide a motorcycle into the study hall, and then one of the kids just like without batting an eye is just like asks him a homework question, like Indiana Jones sliding a motorcycle into the library is just like another Wednesday, and it's just
so
like that.
funny.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Oh,
He's like, "Is this gonna be on the test?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine," or whatever he says. I don't remember. Like that's good stuff.
love it.
Jared Hullfish, when it comes to nuclear blasts in cinema, there are few more hated than the one in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Rewatching the movie, it's honestly wasn't as bad as I remembered.
Hell yeah.
Unbelievable, yes, but also fun. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at those movies, they're all ridiculous. The worst stuff, the egregious offensive stuff in Crystal Skull is like the bad CG and like the Tarzan yodeling swinging from vines and like the crazy ants and the crazy CG stuff. Like that's the bad stuff, not the. Right?
And I think like that movie really appeared around the beginning of like a whole lot of CG stuff infiltrating movies and Star Wars prequels happening. And a lot of people were like, these Star Wars prequels suck because they don't feel like a lot of practical effects like the first movies, and they feel really computer generated. And I think there was like some interview early on where they said we're not going to do this.
That's what I was going to say.
Indiana
Like
Jones, and then they did. So people were like, "Fuck this movie." And now going back, it's probably like, "Oh, this is fine." It's like all movies now, you know.
Yeah.
And so it probably doesn't like feel the way it felt when it first came out. Yeah.
I think that interview, like I remember having heard that before going in, and then literally the first thing you see is a CG marmot or whatever.
Yeah.
Prairie dog, and I was just like, "Oh, okay. I guess we're just not doing no CG then. Cool." Like I remember being bummed in the theater. Indy slowly realizing the situation he's in and getting out of it with a lead-lined fridge is a slapstick way to survive a nuclear blast. Just ignore the fact that hurtling hundreds of feet through the air would crush his insides on impact. Yeah. Stretching the intention of this prompt, no, it isn't. Everything counts. I can't pass up an opportunity to praise Chernobyl again. Craig Mazin expertly crafts this suspenseful drama about the infamous nuclear disaster. It's easily one of the highest quality shows of all time, and I'll be excited to see what he does next after The Last of Us. Mike Karwai. I don't remember if nukes are specifically involved rather than implied in the final scenes of the movie, but the last time I rewatched The Iron Giant, the first viewing since childhood, it was definitely its own giant emotional nuclear explosion in my heart. Like that Tom Cruise in Magnolia had me fighting not to cry. Or that, like Tom Cruise, yeah. I don't know much for certain about Brad Bird as a person, but as a filmmaker, I give him a lot of credit for the respect his best stuff has for the intelligence of children and their capacity to absorb important life lessons are about a more complex and true life picture of humanity than is found in most big-budget family films. As well as Iron Giant's Souls Don't Die, quote-unquote, scene with the dead deer, among a few others. I'll never forget when I was growing up taking in Mrs. Incredible's unambiguous warning of kids, these guys will kill you, in arguably the best Pixar movie. I really like that scene where she just says it. Yeah, I think that it is kind of implied that it's post-nuclear apocalypse or something, right? And I haven't seen Iron Giant in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a minute.
Two movies I saw for the first time in recent years are Sidney Lumet's Failsafe and Stanley Kubrick's Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Both concerning the mass destructive capabilities of nuclear weaponry, and as far as I'm aware, pulling from the same source material. Yeah, they came out like a year apart. As a colossal Kubrick enthusiast and bore, I did not expect Failsafe to be the one that I left more of an impact on me. Being the movie, I think, has possibly managed to hold on to a feeling of even greater relevance, though, admittedly, I tend to prefer the serious dramas. Dr. Strangelove remains hysterical, with one standout vivacious performance after another, but maybe there was a sense of the if you don't laugh, you'll cry sentiment eventually veering more into the let's all laugh this off because there's nothing we can do anyway when comparing the two. There's something about it I almost find somehow too coldly instructive or neatly concluded in a way that isn't as fitting, though it's still obviously a great movie. Failsafe retained the same bleakness without the humor, but felt more like it was giving me permission to pursue my own answers, that it was earnestly rooting for me to, and left me going over it with it all in my head for days after it ended. It's such a wall-to-wall, ambitiously presented nail-biter of a movie that I can't believe isn't more well-known. Also, that whole finale is honestly top 10 genius director level shit. Controversial opinion, but while its perfect screenplay is impossible to argue with, the more I see from Sidney Lumet, the more I think he's so much more as a director than 12 Angry Men. Oh, Sidney Lumet's great.
One of the best.
Yeah. Failsafe is crazy. If you haven't seen it, I don't really want to spoil it, but it's phenomenal. I think it was a made for TV. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but like it's largely in one location, just pure drama, some great acting, just crazy, and like moral quandaries that are very fascinating. It's great.
Sick.
Doctor Strangelove is strange because I saw it when I was very young.
I saw it really young too. I didn't get it the first time.
You're supposed to you're supposed to see it, and then I was like, this is so wacky that I can't relate to this, and I could relate to the danger of nuclear war, but I was like, real people aren't like this.
They are now.
This is too loopy. Yeah, exactly. They're too loopy. And like
prophetic.
Military people are serious and evil. These people are just off the wall bonkers. So like this is a like fictitious movie with no relevance. But now you just see them on full display acting like that in public view with their ass showing, and you're like, okay, yeah, Doctor Strangelove is way scarier than it used to be.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy to me when you see stuff from the 70s, 60s, 50s, 20s, whatever, when you're just like, oh shit, like you're lampooning the stuff that we're still dealing with 70 years ago. Like, and I'm just like, oh no, like, you know, because like obviously society has made bonkers progress in many ways, but at the same time, we're still the same creepy little weirdos and dealing with a lot of the similar problems that we always have been, and people have always been absurd, and it's pretty wild. Like, yeah. Cotalito says this is Akira bait. I mean, sure, technically it's a child, not a nuke. Who can tell the difference? But either way, the audience doesn't know that during the first viewing, and the opening scene of Akira is one of the most iconic
finally it's brought up
blasts in cinema history. Oh yeah, that title card with the like Akira with the fucking big human
and the
crater.
music, the soundtrack is golden.
It's so good. Can you see my? Whoop.
I can hear it just thinking about
it. It's obscured, but I have the full Akira box set like right behind these blankets.
Awesome.
The dream sequence. Oh wait. The dream sequence in T2 is also a favorite, but the most gruesome nuclear blast award goes to another anime, Barefoot Gen from 1983. The story is loosely based on author Keiji Nakazawa's own experiences of the Hiroshima bomb, and the scene in question depicts the blast in horrifying slow motion. It's animated in a very colorful, almost surrealistic way that really adds to the nightmarish body horror. Also, shout out to Jericho. It uses its mushroom clouds in a bit of a different way to build the mystery and suspense at the core of the show. Sadly, it was ripped from us way too early, but I just found out that there was a continuation in comic book form, so now I'm thinking I should track those down. You'd think that one of the entries above would suffice for classic anime of the month, but alas, Isla got me hyped on Escaflowne 2 episodes ago, so I binged it. Hell yeah.
Oh, I love Escaflowne. Escaflowne is one of my all-time favorites.
But you know what? We'll leave it at that. Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but yeah, I remember loving it.
It's so good.
That's
another one with great music. Yeah.
Escaflowne.
Yeah. The tarot cards are so cool, too.
Yeah.
pulls from. Yeah.
Damn, maybe I gotta rewatch Escaflowne.
You should. Jessica and I rewatched it like pretty recently during COVID, and yeah, it's great.
Isn't it one of those things where there's like 3 versions of it or something?
Ooh,
There's like
I hope not.
there's like a Gaiden or like a shorter version or whatever.
Oh, I think there's like a film that's like a
Kawana.
condensed thing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
There's a
but-
movie that okay.
Yeah.
Colt Smith, since everyone is posting good nuke options, I thought I'd pick something similar but not the same. The kick-ass graphic of the Genesis device from Star Trek. Total annihilation of a planet to rebirth it in a spectacular way, like a global nuke that then starts life anew. Pretty cool that. And the shot in the film was a spectacular display of tech for the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watched Star Trek Beyond with Sophia the other day. Not great.
Is that the show?
It's the third Chris Pine movie.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
I think that's one of the most scathing reviews of all time. When you leave a theater, you're like, how was it? Not great.
Not great. I didn't hate it. There's a lot in it I liked, but Carl Williams, favorite nuclear related movie during the Cold War, Dr. Strangelove. Favorite nuclear related movie after the Cold War, Oppenheimer. Speaking of Oppenheimer, I know this movie as a whole was discussed last year, as expected, since it's a Nolan film after all. But now that over a year has passed since the movie came out, I figured I would ask the question: what is your current overall opinion on the scene of the test bomb being dropped? To be more specific, how it was primarily filmed. I know for some, the scene itself didn't really work for them, while it did for others. When I saw the movie, it was definitely the most anticipated scene for me leading up to it, and I was left satisfied. Even after looking at archived footage of the actual test bomb being dropped, I was still satisfied. I'm guessing the people who felt disappointed by it were hoping for a bigger explosion. Seeing the entire screen engulfed in flames was enough to not only leave me wide-eyed, but made me think to myself, that is legit terrifying. And in my eyes, it's not even the scariest quote-unquote scene in the movie. The speech and reactions in the gymnasium after the bombs get dropped in Japan was the scariest, to the point of being uncomfortable. All in all, this movie told me that the people in charge were legit psychopaths, and I can't decide if it's a miracle or pure dumb luck that we survived this long with nuclear weapons. It's probably a bit of both.
Yeah, I saw Oppenheimer 3 times in the IMAX, like I do. And every time I saw it, even the first time, when I first saw the movie, I never thought of like wanting even to see the nuclear blast. I didn't anticipate it. I didn't think about it. So it's interesting hearing a lot of the comments being like, oh, I was so ready for that scene. And it was like, I anticipated that the movie was going to be all about like the creation of it, not the use of it. So I never really anticipated it. And then when it did happen, especially the test scene, I thought it was done so uniquely and like claustrophobically, just with the lights and the sounds, instead of just a traditional like flash, boom, Terminator. Like we've seen that type of nuclear blast in movies for decades. So I liked that this was a different take on it.
I thought, I liked it. I didn't really have an opinion one way or the other. I thought they did it fine. But mostly I was just thinking like about the filmmaking kind of it and like the practical nature of it, which I thought was cool. And like the other parts of the movie where they used like stirring water with particles and stuff to show like him thinking about the atoms and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff I really love. It reminds me of The Fountain, where they used like really small stuff to show nebula sized things. I just really love that kind of stuff. Like oil and water, like colorized in an interesting way. It looks
so cool.
Neat. Yeah,
and it just led to the whole like vibe of the entire movie, because that movie starts out with weird like sights and sounds. You're like, what the hell?
I kind of liked the nature of how it kind of folds it into the movie, especially the scene they're talking about, which I agree is like one of the most impactful parts of the movie, the speech and everything, where it's like,
fuck.
And Twin Peaks: The Return does this very well too, where it's just like the awesome power of nuclear weapons is like it's too big, it's too much, and it would kind of unmake the seams, the edges of reality. I think if you were contemplating this stuff and thinking about creating this stuff and then witnessing its power, like it would unmake your reality. Like
unmake me,
release me. But no, it would fray the edges of your sanity and I think your world, because like you literally split atoms apart with destructive results, and like that literally is like tearing a hole in the universe, like and like to witness that and to create that like would kind of make you a little unhinged. Plus the fact that they like the final line of the movie, which I just love, but like, and the notion that they weren't entirely sure it wouldn't set off a chain reaction that would destroy the entire planet.
So intense.
Ignite the atmosphere.
Just go ahead and do it anyway.
What was the Matt Damon line? Near zero?
Near zero. And he's like, yeah, what do you expect out of science? And he's like, zero would be nice.
Near zero. I love that.
I think they were saying the same kind of things with the Hadron Collider. Where it was like near zero, and like I kind of agreed with them there. They weren't trying to do something destructive there. They weren't like, we're going to use this as a weapon against war, but people were like, how do you know something like absolutely terrible won't happen and you won't create a black hole here when you throw these particles at each other? And they're like, we're like, there's a near 0% chance.
Pretty sure, yeah. I love the theory because there was an unknown. I don't even know if this is true, but I heard there was an unknown mammal found
inside the Hadron Collider,
cooked by the Hadron Collider, and like that was the moment that it like tore reality and flipped us from the Berenstein universe into this like shit show that we live in now. That it like literally did transfer realities, which obviously is, probably not true.
What was the mammal?
They don't know. They couldn't tell. It was some kind of like marmot-like, ferret-like.
Are there pictures?
They couldn't figure out. I don't even know if this is real. It's probably fake.
There's a near 0% chance.
Near zero.
Near zero. Beta's Burrito says, love how Godzilla -1 treated Godzilla's atomic breath like an actual nuclear blast. S-tier visual and sound design. Yeah, that's one of the best looking movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It added so much gravity to the scenes where it was used. Not technically a nuclear blast, but the city explosion sequence and Independence Day have a special place in this 90s kid's heart. Hell yeah.
Sick.
Also, shout out to the weird dream sequence in Watchmen with a nuclear blast in the background. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, yeah, Watchmen. Fuck.
I love Watchmen.
Like the show.
Love it all.
Obviously,
everything
I
Watchmen
prefer I prefer the book and show continuity where it's a giant squid and not an atomic blast with Dr. Manhattan's
I'm like
biosignature.
As time has gone on, I'm like 55-45 in favor of the nuclear blast, but I love the squids too.
Wait, you like the movie more than the book?
I like the book more than the movie, but I like that element of the movie more than the book. I think it makes sense for like modern audiences and modern times. It's aged better.
I get why they did it, but like, and especially like as a device to frame Dr. Manhattan. But
I think it's just cool narratively.
I just love that show too.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever.
Giant squids. We need aliens. Where are they? Come save us.
I mean, like, the more and more into like absurd reality we get, I'm like, maybe we need an Ozymandias to drop
really
a fucking
do.
squid on New York. Like,
we need some aliens.
Snap us out of it. God damn. I'm going insane. I think I'm actually going insane. Anyway.
I quit smoking, and that's an awful time to
You quit smoking?
Yeah,
Wow,
but I'm like on all these nicotine patches now, and they drive me nuts. Yeah. They're the worst.
How many days in are you?
Oh my god, like maybe 2 weeks.
That's the hardest part.
That's why I have these circles under my eyes. Yeah,
this is huge.
Thank you.
Isn't it? You have to make it like 28 days or something, and then you've broken in half.
28 days later.
Is that what that movie's about?
I don't know.
breaking the
That's
habit.
when you start biting people.
Yeah.
I'm ready to.
They're all just trying to quit smoking.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this before, but the trailer for 28 Years Later is like so good using that old fucking poem. God damn.
We better be.
We do trailer
Good.
talk. There's the new P.T. Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson for it's
Oh.
another
Leo,
pension adaptation.
Baby. Leo.
I haven't seen that.
It
His
pretty
highest
much looks like
budget?
Inherent Vice with Leo in it.
An action. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
I did not love his Inherent Vice movie.
I did not either. And Thomas Pynchon is like one of my top authors. I have 2 Thomas Pynchon tattoos, but I did not like that movie. Yeah.
One of my favorite things in my entire life, just a small joy, is anytime Matt Walden goes, like, references some obscure tattoo you have. Like,
Oh
learning
yeah, I've
about
got
your bizarre tattoos, I
got-
just love.
dozens of them. Yeah.
Duff suddenly reminded of Broken Arrow. Hell yeah. The
Sick.
No,
Let's give these guys a haircut.
the theft of a nuclear warhead that features the immortal line from the analyst who just learned that Broken Arrow is the code for a stolen nuclear weapon. Quote, I don't know what's scarier, the theft of nuclear weapons or the fact that it happens so often there's a term for it.
Yeah.
I like that line too.
Graham Yost, the writer of Speed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And Justified.
Is it better than Speed?
I know, but it's awesome. You should watch it. Watch Broken Arrow. It's
I
fun.
Creator of
was
Justified.
obsessed as a kid with this little cadre of movies like Broken Arrow, The Rock, Con Air. Like I would just watch them over and
they're
over
fun.
again.
Christian
So-
Slater and John Travolta, right? Is that who's in it? Broken Arrow.
Broken
I think
Arrow?
so.
Yeah, and John Travolta. The bomb ultimately goes off like a nightmare Chekhov's gun, just like in True Lies, another 90s action film about a stolen nuclear weapon. What was it about 90s action movies and setting off nuclear bombs as a threat that's overcome? Was it like an end of history thing? There's a lot of like, in the 90s, there was a lot of like year 2000, like, is the world going to end kind of a vibe, but like the fun version of it, where they made fun, weird movies about it. And now, instead of like now, where it's like every day you wake up and you're like, what fresh hell is this? Yeah. Back then it was fun apocalypse. Now it's
Yeah.
real, sad
That's
apocalypse.
too real.
Also, shout out to Catch Up Entertainment for saving the day the Earth blew up. Oh, yeah. It was a Looney Tunes ass movie that was in love with the Looney Tunes more than any of the other theatrical releases. Hit me with nostalgia I didn't know I had. All right, 4 more. Zorgla, my nuke
Yo.
movies. For me, The Sum of All Fears is so effective
Sick.
because half the movie is about tracing the missing warhead's origin, the Broken Arrow, you might say, and location so closely that it feels like a character. We also see all the lives at stake from ground level, so the failure to prevent disaster hits much harder. Shout out to season 2 of 24 for something similar. Also, like the end of Terminator 3. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I kind of like the end of Terminator 3 with Claire Danes and John Connor. I like this when Claire Danes and John Connor realized their mission. Yeah, because the character's name was just Claire Danes also.
I lost the thread on Terminator movies. So I've seen some of them, but I didn't watch them like in order. Like besides
there
1
are
and 2.
legitimately 3 different Terminator 3s.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of timelines actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best
you are
besides
correct
1
to be
and 2?
confused.
Dark Fate. Dark Fate just came out. It's Cameron produced it. It's got Mackenzie Davis. Surprisingly solid. It retcons everything and picks up after 2.
Is it got Arnold in it? Is that the one?
It's got Arnold.
Okay, I think
Hamilton's
I saw that
back.
one. I saw that
It
one.
is.
That one is good. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember leaving
not
like,
seen
wow, that was fun. That was good.
It's funny.
If you could dark your
It's got jokes in
fate,
it. Yeah.
would you?
Gabriel Luna's in there as the Terminator. Fuck yeah. Sick.
Also, I like the end of Terminator 3 when Claire Danes and John Connor realized their mission was just to hide and survive. Yeah, that's such a good spoilers for Terminator 3. It's the only good part of the movie, really. And I don't know, the movie's fun. It may contradict Huber's beloved mantra, no fate but what we make, but Judgment Day works well as an unavoidable man-made disaster that still leaves a sliver of hope for humanity's future. It mirrors the finalized lines of Terminator 1 about a storm coming. Our characters don't need to prevent the apocalypse, just survive it and keep fighting. Yeah, I actually really like that because the whole time you're watching that Terminator 3, you think they're going to try to stop Judgment Day, and then he just chucks them in a bunker.
Yeah.
And the reveal at the end of the movie is just, oh, he's just here to try to make you live through it.
Yeah.
I think I
remember
just
that. Yeah.
like the idea of being able to change your fate. Like, I'm not a fatalist, you know? I feel like we have agency on
I think
our
you are a
own
fatalist if you
lives.
believe in fate at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, we have control over our own lives. No fate, but what we make.
Yeah.
Our
There's
decisions.
no fate. Yeah.
Yeah.
No meaning to life. You do your own thing.
Isn't Judgment Day like 2 years from now, right? August in 2027?
I think it was-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have
August
long.
25th.
Yeah.
20, whatever. You better be wearing 3 million sunblock.
Skynet, like, I don't want to take any wild guesses, but is that like ChatGPT? Is that Tesla? Like, what is that? Like, who's gonna be in? Who's our most likely candidate for Skynet?
Oh yeah, all of them.
All of
Everything.
them?
All
They're
of it.
all gonna merge in one. Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Everything's fucked. On the other hand, I enjoy Dark Knight Rises, but that nuke is really lame. It's
There it is.
created
Finally, a Dark Knight Rises one.
in a really cartoonish way, and the villain's plan is ultimately just to blow up Gotham. It's nowhere near as engaging as the villain's schemes in Batman Begins or Dark Knight. I'm so sorry, Nolan, but Batman flying a nuke out to sea isn't dramatic or selfless when you already introduced Chekhov's autopilot. Solid movie, lame nuke. Anything else? Andor is on Hulu. Finally, time for me to watch it. I was gonna mention Andor, like, and Disney being shockingly or allowing something shockingly anti-cop with Andor. I'm excited for Andor to come out in a few weeks here, actually.
Oh, it's that soon.
This
Yeah,
one
that's
too, the
cool.
22nd or something.
Yeah,
maybe?
Disney allows it because they think that
They own
we aren't
Hulu,
going to do
right?
shit. They think we're going to watch it and be like, cool, I finished the season. What's next on TV?
Yeah, exactly.
So prove them wrong.
Freeze says, incredible topic choice. Shout out to Godzilla -1. Hell yeah. Oliver Leland, Miracle Mile plays out like a weird, listless nightmare. Our hero sleeps through his plans to meet up with a pretty lady he had a meet cute with the day before at a diner, and some ungodly hour he picks up a payphone call to hear that Russia has launched nukes at the U.S. Great soundtrack by Tangerine Dream.
Oh,
I don't
Tangerine
know
Dream.
what I'd call. I don't know that I'd call it my favorite movie, but I'd never heard anyone talk about this movie, and I think it's pretty cool.
It's one of my good friend's favorites. I still need to see it.
never seen it.
But Tangerine Dream gets me in the door. For
Like Tangerine
sure.
Dream,
Yeah.
Princess Bride. Didn't they do the soundtrack?
Oh, did they?
I think
Wow.
so. Somebody did.
I
maybe
have
just
not
the
seen
guy-
Princess Bride in a long time, but yeah, that would be a good reason to watch Princess Bride again. Also,
Princess Bride is my favorite movie. I
Yeah.
fucking love that movie.
Is it as good as Paddington 2, though?
Yeah. Yeah, it's by Mark Knopfler.
oh,
Who, wasn't he in?
I mean, that
Or no,
sounds
Dire
familiar.
Straits?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. I guess
Speaking
not.
of Dark Knight, really quick, can anybody watching, listening for next month, please let me know. I heard there's rumors, rumblings, unconfirmed that The Dark Knight is returning to the IMAX. And I keep looking into this, and I keep it like, is it all lies? The truth is out there, but so are lies. I don't know. So if anyone has any knowledge of
X-Files
that,
episode.
yeah, if anyone has any knowledge of that, please reach out and let me know because I want to see that.
Ooh, you know what we should do for an episode? Conspiracies.
Dude, sick.
Maybe because I watched that ContraPoints video, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
it. But I was just thinking about like the conversation.
All the president's men.
Whoa.
Oh.
Sophia was just watching The Manchurian Candidate the other day.
Which
and I
one,
was like, what the
original or
new
Denzel?
one? Denzel.
Nice. Both incredible.
quote-unquote new one.
Dude, Frank Sinatra one though. Fucking 10 out of 10.
Last comment, Tyler Travis. I'll consider Twin Peaks The Return an 18-hour movie and say part 8. Hell yeah.
I
All
love
right.
how, like 9 Inch Nails just jumps in there. The 9 Inch Nails.
The
Trent
9-inch
Reznor
nail.
has his like glove on. And I'm like, oh,
She's
this
gone.
episode couldn't
She's
be
gone
more
away,
perfect.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
It is one hell of a thing.
Oh,
All
the
right. That was a hell of a thing. That's from Galaxy Quest, right? Anyway, thank you.
Hey, unmake me!
Mommy! Daddy!
For not liking that movie. We sure do jump on that a lot. Actually,
Yeah,
you liked
I loved it. I loved it.
I didn't.
I liked it. I loved it. That Punisher gif is so funny.
Threads. Random last little thing for the
Oh,
people
yeah.
who like
Nobody talked about Mad Max.
After. Yeah. Threads is like the British version of Day After, even more bleak and a little bit more artsy too. Really cool. A TV movie that aired around the same time, freaked people out. Kind of like a realistic docudrama about like, oh shit, things are starting to build up. Maybe Russia and America are going to go to war, about things in Iran kind of like spilling over. And then they do. And then just all of like the UK just breaks down into kind of like medieval feudal society, and just radiation poisoning starts to just kill everybody. Very, very, very bleak and realistic, and kind of like it goes in pretty artsy directions. Recommend it if you like Day After. See the British version. The British version is very cool. Yeah. Threads. Check it out.
Are they actually like related, or is it just similar?
Not related, but very similar in vibes and effect on the viewing population. Yeah. People like freaked out when they saw it on TV. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sick. Anything else?
Covered them all. No
right.
flip of what we make.
No flip of what we make. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Carve it on the table.
So fucking sick.
Yeah.
Dude, put Arnold in Avatar 4 or 5, please. It is my wish.
Wow.
Blue, though. He's got to be blue.
Yeah, Blue Arnold.
Navi sure. Arnold, that is the dream.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine him talking? I'm a Navi. Epic, dude. It'd be so epic.
We must love the planet.
I love him so
Get to
much.
the big tree.
I was having this discussion right before we leave, right before we sign off, for real. I was in my living room the other day because I just watched Terminator also, Matthew. And my grandpa's there, both my parents, and I just randomly say, I go, Grandpa, do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the greatest actors of all time? And everyone in the room laughed and was like, no. And then I'm like, not in like a classical acting ability, but in like a movie star way. Like, you know, like a Keanu Reeves type. Like technically they're not good, but they are the best. And it's like, doesn't that in turn make them good? Like,
there's this undefinable thing that is called presence.
Exactly.
And appeal and charm and an ability to bounce off your fellow actors.
He's got
and he has it. The way he and Eddie Furlong, who's just a kid, the like bond that they have make that movie. And sure, Eddie Furlong was super talented, but the way you know Arnold has to like work with that kid and be able to hit it off and be friends with him in real life. I'm imagining to be able to get that performance with a kid. There's something there. I don't know what it is that he's able to do.
So
it's something. Yeah, for sure.
Epic.
Hell yeah.
That's all.
All right. Thank you for coming with us on this bizarre, bleak topic. Next
perfect time for it.
We'll talk about conspiracies.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Obsessed with that. Yes.
Yeah, unless I forget.
Fucking X-Files tonight.
Dude, yeah. X-Files is the movie, dude. I want to
We're going to be talking about chemtrails.
Yeah. It's just
They're
a politics
real.
podcast now.
Just look up in the air.
All right, everybody. Patreon.com/reaction shots. Check it out. Get in the conversation. You can add your comments to the episodes and get in on the Discord. It's really fun. Nice time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Hubert and Matt.
Yeah.
And we will see you again in a few weeks. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.